Easy there, my boy, now would you hurry? You say you got a plan to stake your claim. Funny, that reminds me of a story of one like you who bore my very name. I can tell you think I'm just a foolish old man, spinning yarns of youth to ease his soul, while your young crystal eyes can see it so clear. Well, let me tell you, son, before you go, I am the son of a gold miner's promise, picking out the time and growing old, in the curse of a gold miner's promise, that in my time I'll take my weathered gold. I was just about your age when I left Frisco, with plans to carve my name across the land. I swore I'd strike gold quicker than the old man dug his grave in all the gravel he had panned. Well, I played guitar for crowds big as heaven. I've slept with angels trained in devil's arts, but never could I rest my aging conscience without the family's name up on the charts. I am the son of a gold miner's promise, picking out the time and growing old.
Do 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 do. I wear a demeanor made of bright, pretty things. What she wears, what she wears, what she wears. Birds singing on my shoulder, in harmony it seems. How they sing, how they sing, how they sing. Give me nights of solitude, red wine just a glass or two. Brickland in a hammock on a balmy evening. I'll pretend that it's no thing. They're skipping my heart when I think of you thinking of me, babe. I'm crazy over you. There's something in the water, something in the water. There's something in the water that makes me love you like I got halos made of summer, ribbons made of spring. What she wears, what she wears, what she wears. I got crowns of words are woven, each one a song to sing. Oh, I sing, oh, I sing, oh, I sing. Give me long days in the sun, preludes to the nights to come, previews of the mornings laying in or lazy. Give me something fun to do, like a life of loving you. Kiss me quick now, baby, I'm still crazy over you. There's something in the water, something in the water. There's something in the water that makes me love you like I do. Give me nights of solitude, red wine just a glass or two. Give me something fun to do. There's something in the water, something in the water. There's something in the water that makes me love you like I do. There's something in the water, something in the water.
go.
I am sailing home again, across the sea. I am sailing stormy waters to be near you, to be free. I am flying, I am flying like a bird across the sky. I am flying, passing high clouds to be where you, to be free. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Through the dark night, far away. I am dying forever.
This is Pinot Noir here, so it's got obviously a lot of color in the skin. Any grape that you use to make wine have everything happens in the skin. In the flesh is no color, no tannins. It's really just the sugar and the water, the sugar and some of the aromatic component, but none of the color comes from the flesh. It's always white. So even Pinot Noir, if you press Pinot Noir directly, you end up with a white wine. So that's Pinot Blanc, so there is no color here, but that's Pinot Gris. So see if you give it a chance and let the skin spend some time with the juice, you'll get color out of it. So this is how we get the color. When it comes to rosé, well, of course the color is really pretty, but that's not really what matters. What matters is the flavor. So what you also get with it is the tannins, that texture, and that's what makes rosé a very interesting wine for lunch, because it's a white wine really, but with a little bit of
Lots of rain here this morning, so lots of waterfalls this afternoon.
I said good morning anyway. Good morning, my name is Cliff. That's pretty much how it is. Sound good?
Kia ora.
Kia ora, thank you. So the track's sort of a bit shorter today than normal due to the fact there was a really big slip. So we're sort of just going to go and play it by ear and just have a look and see what we can. And then we'll probably come back here.
Well, we're off on our glacier walk this morning.
Photo here. This photo is probably the first photo ever taken. So this was taken in 1867. It was named Franz Josef in 1865, and you're right, it was named after the Emperor of Hungary and Austria, and it was named by Julius von Hartz. A lot of years of sort of debating why he named it after the Emperor, and you know, through our history we've also debated that as well. My theory is he was trying to earn some brownie points, trying to get some more funding, and funny enough, after he named the glacier after the Emperor, he got the funding he was looking for to introduce the chamois or chamois, which is a type of antelope. Right, so there's a type of antelope called chamois, and I think there was 6 originally, a couple of boys and 4 girls, and now there's like lots of them. The bamboo orchid flowered probably about a month ago, and I thought they had all finished completely, but we have this bamboo orchid here which has just decided it wants to flower again or something like that, or maybe later, but really cool. So quite special. It wasn't actually open yesterday, so it just opened this morning probably, but really special, and it's nice to see them come back, because a lot of people love orchids and it's really hard to show them. You know, they only come out for a short period of time. I always thought there was 3 New Zealand orchids, and I looked it up. No, there's about 300. I still only know 3. Yeah, I'm working on it.
Here is the glacier. I got to see it anyway. Franz Josef Glacier.
Packed down under weight of more snow. So just like when sometimes you may have packed the snowball a bit too hard and hipped it at somebody and they went, oh, you know, you've made ice there. But if you're talking a lot of ice, you know, under a lot of pressure, it becomes really dense, denser and harder than you'll ever make it. It takes about 4 years for that to happen. First 2 years of vertification. Vertification is like a slushy, kind of not quite ice but not quite snow. Glacier ice is so dense that the light waves don't penetrate very well. So the blue end of the spectrum, that sort of doesn't penetrate at all, and that's what we're looking at. Okay, so you're looking at blue ice, and it's only blue because we make it blue with the way our eyes do. The white ice, the sun has got there, the sun has expanded those crystals, and then the air has managed to get in. So the air's in there now, it's called aerated ice. And that allows the entire spectrum to penetrate through. So that's why it looks white. Again, only white to us. If you can see more of the spectrum, it would be a different colour. So, where the sun doesn't shine is where it's going to be bluer. Maybe it's just fallen off and it's just freshly been exposed. That's going to be blue as well. So that part you're looking at is a lot bluer than normal because all that rain washed all that white aerated ice off. Hasn't had a lot of direct sunlight yet, so it hasn't had that aeration happen. You often get pieces falling down there as well. Just like in a river you have waterfall sections, they call that an ice fall. It's very much the same thing. People always ask me, how thick is the glacier? How fast is it? The waterfall, just like a normal waterfall, is a lot thinner, and it's a lot faster. Below there would be a really big pool. So that pool would be a lot thicker and a lot slower there as well. And you've got some rapid sort of sections, another pool, and then away she goes. So terminal face, where it terminates, where it turns into the river. So this river here, the Waiho, flows directly out from underneath the glacier. This is the mountain water here. Okay? So how much does the glacier mount? It really depends on what's going on. The worst thing in the world for glaciers, as you might realise, is warm water. So warm rain will mount the glacier a lot faster than warm water. Hot sun mounts it as well, but not as bad as warm water. So yeah, it's continuously mounting, that's just what happens. It's also continually coming down because you just can't fight gravity. So if one happens faster than the other, the glacier will go forward or back. Okay? A lot of people think that the glacier is there in winter and disappears in summertime, I don't understand how they think that, but that's just what some people think. It's always been here, just like a river's always flowing, the glacier's always flowing. It takes about 5 to 100 years for that snow to get from the top to the bottom. If it's in that very main current in the middle of the river, so to speak, it's going to move a lot faster. That's where your 5 years comes from. It's on the outside, it's caught on all the currents, and it's caught sort of in those eddies and a lot of friction. That's going to be your 100 years. To give you an idea of sizing, it's like 50 metres will be the thinnest, or 150 feet. Goes right up to about 300 metres or 900 feet at the top there. The thickest part is obviously going to be the neve or the lake part, okay? The next thickest part is going to be that pool part. To give you an idea of speed, generally speaking it goes probably about an average of like 5 metres a day or 15 feet in the fastest sort of spots, and probably less than a foot in the slower sort of spots. Does that sort of make sense? It has been recorded to go 11 metres forward overnight. That's the fastest it's ever been. So that's 33 feet overnight. That's some serious movement going on there. It's not by any means the fastest glacier in the world, but it's sort of up there as the fast glacier.
So over the years it's become less, is what you're saying.
Yep, but what you need to understand is due to the weather patterns, the La Nina, El Nino weather patterns, we have cycles, okay? So, in the last 100 years, which is the only records we have, it's come forward 5 times, okay? So every time we go in the cold cycle, it comes forward. But it never comes forward as far as it lost. So it might go back 2 steps, comes forward 1, and that's it. So it's still a retreating glacier even though it has these wee pushes.
Has global warming impacted it seriously at this end of it?
Global warming is a really strange terminology. I don't know why they use it. Climate change is a better terminology, and has that affected us? Well, possibly, but not that we notice. If we get another horrible cold summer next year and a really good winter and another one, it takes 4, the glacier will come forward. So who knows really. But if you want to know, come back in 5 years time and I'll be able to tell you if it worked or not.
This is the view from our hotel for the next 2 nights, the Punakaiki Resort, right on the ocean, and we have a lovely view from our room. We saw the Franz Josef Glacier this morning, and then continued our drive up the northwestern coast of New Zealand until we reached our resort. Tomorrow we will have a full day of various things, including gold mining and quirky animals and other things. But tonight I'll have dinner here and enjoy the view. Well, after dinner tonight, it's dusk here on the west coast of New Zealand. The waves are starting to calm down.
What I want to do first is just talk about a little bit about the town's history, introduce what the town is today, and then we're going to catch up with some really eclectic people and have a cup of Billy tea. Eclectic is the good word. And then we'll send you out to the Great Museum of Stuff. That's what it is this year. It was the Museum of Stuff last year, but it's the Great Museum of Stuff. I can't remember who was the OAT host that suggested that it should be the Great Museum of Stuff, but we're following that. And Mr. Lawn will be out there, so he's always very eloquent. And then you'll come back, so you're going out about 2 kilometres a mile in your turns, and then you'll come back and we'll have a nice shared lunch at the Future Dough Company. So you have to realise that back 150 years ago, this was a place of scattered Maori population, so it was small numbers of Maori at the length of the west coast in places. And then all of a sudden you had this mass immigration of mostly European people, some people of other ethnicity, and it just changed the landscape culturally. And it remains that way, you see. And the thing about Maori is that they were aware of the gold, but it was irrelevant to them, unusually. what do you think was their treasure?
Jade.
Excellent. So it was the Pounamu, the greenstone, the jade. So that remains their treasure, you see, and that was their economic base, trading the Pounamu. But here for Europeans, it was the alluvial gold, you might call it the placer gold. So in the rivers and streams. So they first came to Hokitika and then they moved up and down the west coast. And finally, last year, 150 years ago, they discovered gold in this area. So the process of mining in a quartz mine is to go down and then work up, go down and then work up. And they did that all the way down 2,700 feet. And the Waiota mine, which is the deepest mine as I expressed, they still would have continued to go down, had one of the vertical shafts. There were 2 vertical shafts into the mine, and one collapsed in 1951, and so that ended mining. You know. So in here's a ton, so you've just shifted 2 tons, and over your 8-hour day, because you worked 8 hours under here, you shifted 200 of these, so 200 tons.
Wow.
And then, so you're working hard, and you're working even harder, because 200 empty ones are coming down. So you've got to spin those around and give them to us, and then we take them back. It started mining here 2006, so they started with a hill, and then that's become a valley, and over here was a valley, and that's now become a hill. And over the last, apart from last year where they went into care and maintenance, over 9 years of operation, they took out another 500,000 ounces of gold.
I'm panning for gold. I'm panning for gold until I have all my heart can hold. I go to the pages, handed down and worn. I'm hearing the sages with the truth on their tongues, sifting beauty from the layers of ash. I'm tracing the universe with my fingers in the sand.
So welcome to Bearded Miners. Mark is here, Gavin's sitting down there. Gavin's been working hard, believe it or not, baking some scones on the open fire. So you'd call them biscuits, but we call them scones. And so Mark's going to make the tea, and then afterwards the tea is made, we'll serve the tea over under the shelter there. So the thing is that you worked hard, you know, you had to look after your man, you had to look after your children, and you were isolated too, so that's the thing, there wasn't, you know, the support around you that you might have today. So whether you're working down underground or working on the surface, there was always time for a cup of tea. We call it crib time.
I go to the riverbed, shoes on the shore. I'm shaking a little bit, hardly know what for. Oh, and the water's cloudy as the sky. I'm looking for answers in the riverbed of life. I'm panning for gold. I'm panning for gold until I have all my heart can hold. I go to the pages, handed down and worn. I'm hearing the sages with the truth on their tongues, sifting beauty from the layers of ash. I'm tracing the universe with my fingers in the sand. I'm panning for gold. I'm panning for gold
So it's dusk again tonight. Looking out of our hotel, Punakaiki, on the western shores of New Zealand. It's our last night. We had a great stay here, but early tomorrow morning we will leave for Christchurch, and at the end of the day fly from there to Wellington.
What we're going to do today, we're going to pop out this side here and we'll hand feed a few sheep. We've got a few pet sheep out there. Then we're going to go around the outside of the building while we wander up the hill where I use the dogs to bring the sheep in off the top paddock.
Is that why they're excited?
They're waiting.
Okay.
We'll bring the sheep down, we'll do a little bit more work with the sheep, and then we will talk about the alpacas that are out there. Then we're going to come inside the other side of those bales and we're going to shear a sheep.
Yeah.
So guys, these are Romney sheep, right? They're meat sheep. Their wool is for carpets. Walk up. Walk up, Blue. Walk up, Flint.
Head 'em up, move 'em out, head 'em up, ride 'em in, cut 'em out.
Sit down there, Blue. Sit down there, Blue. Sit down. No, Blue is it. Oh, sit down. Sit.
Head 'em up, move 'em on, head 'em up, ride 'em in, cut 'em out. Rollin', 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 yeah! Rollin', 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 yeah!
So, alpacas come from Chile and Peru, South America. They are a cousin of the camel and a cousin of the llama. Here in New Zealand, they're farmed for their wool and for breeding to sell. Male alpacas worth about $900. Females can be worth up to $9,000 because you can breed and sell the babies.
Because they're females, you know, just
They're
because
shorn
they're female.
once a year with about 10 centimetres of wool. 24 registered colours, different shades of whites, blacks, browns, greys and reds. What I want you to do, guys, don't worry about your cameras too much yet. Just come and touch. Feel how thick that wool is. $3,000 sheep shorn 2 times a year. Right? On this farm they're shorn in March and August. Not every farm shears twice a year. Some farms will shear once a year. And basically if you put 4 farmers in a room and said when's the best time to shear a sheep, you'd get 5 different answers. Right? People shear for what suits them, what their weather conditions, the type of sheep they got, the type of wool they're growing, what they're doing with it. This farm it's March and August. Now we shear in August what we call pre-lamb shearing. Right? We lamb in September. Now some down lower country, down closer to the ocean where it's warmer, they will start lambing late June, July and August. Further up in the mountains they won't start lambing until November or December. Basically you lamb when you get your spring, right? Because we're higher, our spring comes later. And without spring you don't have your green grass. And with no green grass, mums don't make milk. Right? So that's why we lamb in September. Now we shear in August, pre-lamb shearing, because even September, October, we can get late storms come through. And if we take the wool off mum in August, when the storm comes through, mum's out in the middle of the paddock with no wool on and she says, I'm cold. She goes to shelter, takes the lamb with it, and the lamb survives. If you left the wool on mum would sit in the middle of the paddock on wool, and the baby dies. Right? So it's better survival rates for the lambs. That's why we pre-lamb shed. Two ways, well, we don't shear our own sheep. Right? We employ professional people called shearers, and the shearers will go farm to farm, shearing all over New Zealand, all over the world. There's two ways to shear the sheep. The old way with the blades. Very, very sharp, hard on the wrist. Still today used in the mountains because it leaves about a centimetre of wool to keep the sheep warm. And a good shearer would shear 180 sheep in 8 hours. Hard work. Most of the sheep in New Zealand and around the world shorn with these machines. Driven by the motor, backwards and forwards. Just like a pair of hair cutters. And a good shearer would do 300 sheep in 8 hours. Paid about $2 per sheep. So $600 a day, good money. But damn hard work. Very good for haircuts.
Hello, darling. Hello, darling. That's the first time you've been serenaded while you're doing that.
It is. Shearing a sheep like having a haircut. Right, doesn't hurt the sheep. Now we're so damn clever. How do we tell how old how old a sheep is? How can we tell how old a sheep is?
Teeth.
Their teeth. Yes. What are we looking for?
Lots of them.
When they're born, they have baby teeth in the bottom. Right? When it's 1 year old, 2 big teeth will grow. And every year, 2 more teeth until it has 8 big teeth.
How old are you, darling?
How many teeth can you see? 2. So how old is it? A year old. No teeth on top. Alright, I'm going to shear it, or try to.
Has he been shorn before?
Yes.
Is it a boy or a girl?
No, it's a girl.
Girl.
You can take photos, but stay where you are.
Is it all up? Oh.
We'll share the rest with the blades.
To the blades now. Dolly, you're doing good.
Boy, be a little spinach.
Is that what you call dirty?
Yeah, it is a bit dirty.
If you get bloated?
So, see how easy that is?
Yes!
left hand.
Carol.
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers.
I want to keep them.
Yep, in there, yep.
Yep.
Nice and quietly.
Don't cut, Dolly.
Cut it.
Watch what you're doing, Carol. Don't
That's
don't
my
try to
picture.
pose. Don't try to pose. The sheep will.
Hold on
The
to
sheep
that.
will bleed.
Who else would like a turn?
I do.
Whole sweater.
Boy, that is not easy to do.
Now shut.
Honestly, don't.
Not while you're Yeah, you're right. You're nervous about what you're
Anxious to leave. See you naked Dolly. Good job, Dolly. Look at that.
So that's the wool that keeps it warm in the mountains.
Good job, Chris.
Good guy.
28, 29, 30.
You said this wool is made to, or used to make rugs, carpet like
Carpets,
that?
yep. It'll be okay for blankets, it'll be okay for insulation. It's too coarse, too stiff to make against your skin for clothing. 3.5 kilo. So let's say it's about $9 worth of wool. It'll cost $2 to shear it, and you've still got to feed it and look after it. There's not much money in the wool. Right? The money's in the meat. It's a meat sheep. How many of you guys have got woolen carpets at home or rugs? Oh, better than normal. The rest of you synthetics, yep. If everybody went away from synthetics back to carpet, back to wool, the wool would be worth more money. The demand would be higher. Get rid of your synthetics, go back to wool carpets.
goes down to the waterfront.
afternoon, sir. Do you know why I pulled you over?
Well, the radio's all good, so I guess you're just revenue collecting officer. Or perhaps just pulled him over because he's Māori. I got a problem with the car. I think she might be overheating. Told you, man. I gotta see it. Bro, you got a death wish.
You're going to Wellington, are you?
Yeah.
Choice.
Whoa.
That's fine. That's fine. So, what do you guys do?
Yeah, what? What is it that you do again, man? I forgot.
Where the hell are you anyway? What are those sirens?
It's just movies, you know, it's car chasing. I'm going all the way. I gotta get to Susie.
Apologise for what?
I didn't go.
We didn't go where? Oh, whoa.
Man, you in some kind of trouble?
You guys are crank up. Because I almost blew his brains out for falling me Bolgo.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
But anyway, say la vie.
Armed response units close in. The whole country is watching as police close in on the Blondini Mini.
They're after you, man! They're after you!
They're driving around in an apricot mini and they're shooting whoever they see.
Hey, I want to get off! I want you to know that I think you're the most beautiful person that I have met.
Hey, you stop! I'm taking this bloody car to end the carnal!
I ask you, whose Oscar is that?
So that's Jamie Selkirk's Oscar for
Uh-huh.
film editing Lord of the Rings Return of the King.
Very good, thank you.
And the band played Waltzing Matilda as we sailed away from the quay. And amidst all the tears and the shouts and the cheers, we sailed off for Gallipoli. How well I remember that terrible day when the blood stained the sand and the water, and how in that hell that they call Suvla Bay, we were butchered like lambs at the slaughter. Johnny Turkey was ready, he primed himself well. He showered us with bullets and he rained us with shells. And in 5 minutes flat, he'd blown us all to hell. Nearly blew us right back to Australia. And the band played Waltzing Matilda as we stopped to bury our slain. And we buried ours, and the Turks buried theirs, and it started all over again. Now those who were living did their best to survive in that mad world of dust, blood and fire. And for 7 long weeks I kept myself alive, all the corpses around me piled higher. Then a big Turkish shell knocked me arse over tits, and when I awoke in my hospital bed and saw what it had done, Christ, I wished I was dead. Never knew there were worse things than dying. So they collected the cripples, the wounded and maimed, and they shipped us back home to Australia. The legless, the armless, the blind and insane, those proud wounded heroes of Suvla. And as our ship pulled into Circular Quay, I looked at the place where me legs used to be, and thank Christ there was nobody waiting for me to grieve and to mourn and to pity.